Hello guys and welcome back. Today I thought I would discuss a certain mystery within the game Star Fox Adventures. So the last video I made about this game, I went ahead and covered the Krazoa spirits, and perhaps their connection towards Andross. So anyways, go ahead and check out that video if you'd like. But today I wanted to talk about the dinosaurs in the game. Well, mostly we're going to be focusing on the dinosaurs' language that is spoken in the game, as there is actually quite a number of interesting facts and mysteries behind this ancient tongue. Also, you will find it quite surprising on which characters can speak this language quite well, despite them not being actual dinosaurs. So anyways, thanks again for joining me today and let's get started. So as we know, the planet Saria, which is formerly known as Dinosaur Planet, is a large planet inhabited by multiple tribes of many dinosaurs. The climate itself is pretty similar to Corneria, as you can find lush green forests, traversable volcanoes and snowy mountains, as well as rivers and deserts and even an ocean. So it has all the factors necessary to sustain life for various organisms, even if most of them are giant dinosaurs who are able to speak in English. Now, the native language amongst the dinosaurs is known as the Dino language. And yes, I know, I assumed it was named the Saurian language, just like the planet's name, but apparently that wasn't made official within the game's story or its development process. And besides, every other places I can source this information from just clearly called it the Dino language. So yeah, anywho, from what we know thus far about the origins behind this ancient tongue, it's that it's been spoken by the dinosaur residents for thousands of years now, ever since their first encounter with other extraterrestrial beings, which in this case would have to be the Krazoa spirits. Now, there could be a possibility that the Krazoa themselves taught this language to the inhabitants of the planet, since back then the only form of communication these tribes would use was nothing more but mere grunts and growls, you know, because they're dinosaurs. Now, a few of them still speak like this as you play throughout the game, but most of them have adopted this new dino tongue. Now, surprisingly enough, Crystal can both understand and speak this dinosaur language very well, and she is even able to communicate with the Earthwalker tribe and the Cloudrunner tribe, as seen in the first part of the game. Now, I would also like to mention that Crystal also talks to Andross in this very same language, for a brief second at least, before, you know, she becomes captured by him. Which is pretty strange at first, because she can speak their language quite fluently. So does this mean that Andross knows the language as well? Anyways, it's already known that Crystal is not a native resident of this planet, which is pretty strange because she can speak their language quite fluently. Now, there is also another character who seems to know the language quite well, and that's none other than Slippy the Frog. So why does Slippy know the dinosaur language? Since at the start of the game, when Fox first arrives in Saria, he has no idea on what the dinosaurs are saying, but it doesn't take Slippy very long to butt in and start translating for Fox. And to be honest, I had my very own dumb little theory about this. I thought since Slippy was a frog, and some frogs can even be considered to be reptiles, I guess, just like the dinosaurs, I just assumed that this was the reason Slippy just knew on what they were saying, like evolution was somehow working its magic here, but of course, that wasn't it. It turns out that Slippy just studied up on the language because he's a genius. Also, he even goes a step beyond with it as well, as he develops a translating device for Fox that would greatly help him in understanding the natives of the planet, making things easier for him. Though you have to love Fox's reactions when he can't seem to understand a single word that anyone is saying around him. He just looks so done with it, as I found his reactions to be quite laughable. I mean, can you imagine Fox going through the entire game without a translator device? He wouldn't know what to do, and that means we'd probably have to hear Slippy talking for the majority of the game. And I don't think none of us want that. Anyways, the version of the game we're all familiar with, which would be the English version, does have a little secret within it, as the only Saurian inhabitants that actually know the English language within the terms of the game would be the Warpstone character and the shopkeeper. And for some strange reason, these two characters can actually understand Fox with or without the translator. Now, if we skip forward to Star Fox Adventures, Tricky is also seen speaking English without the help of a translator device. So perhaps Tricky also polished up on his English skills. Now yes, you can argue that maybe the translator device is present and it just wasn't acknowledged, but who knows, we're just speculating here. Now, some dinosaur tribes have not yet adapted to this language yet, and I thought this was weird because I thought maybe if the dinosaurs evolved to a point where they can utilize their tongue and tone to speak words. But that's easier said than done, as the more savage tribes in Saria still resort to the usual growling and groaning, such as the Red Eyes tribe and the Firecrawler tribe. Anywho, I think the real reason as to why Crystal seems to know the language pretty well is because of her telepathic abilities. We have seen her telepathically speak to Fox himself when he picks up her staff, and you can clearly hear Crystal's voice explaining to Fox about the staff's functions. Even though she is talking within the Saurian language, Fox is still able to understand her, and that's probably because of Crystal's power to interpret different languages within her telepathic abilities. Though I thought Rareware would actually add in the English dub in this part, which is also another little detail I wanted to get to for the next part. So there is another mystery when it comes to this specific cutscene, where both Fox and Tricky hear Crystal's cries of agony at the Moon Mountain Pass. Her cries are spoken in the dinosaur language, so I'm not sure why though, but this cutscene played out with the typical Saurian language for Crystal, even though there have been recordings about the English voice actress actually being recorded already and ready to go, though Rareware decided to stick with the Dino dub for some strange reason. And did I really just call it Dino dub? Anywho, so that right there could be the actual mystery here. Now this could have been an accident on their part, but after watching the cutscene again, I may have come up with another reason as to why it remained this way. Because you see, in the cutscene we can hear Crystal in a lot of pain and distress. Heck, it even sounded like she was being tortured at some point as well. So just maybe this was just a bit too much for Nintendo's standards in order to stay in that family-friendly trend they've been going on about for years now. But that's my assumption on the matter though. Anyways, that was just a breakdown on the dinosaur language within Star Fox Adventures. I just thought there was just enough things worth mentioning to you guys, and I also found it pretty fun revisiting some old games that I enjoyed so much back then. So thanks again for your time, and I'll see you guys on the next one, and remember, take care out there guys.
Isn't this music getting on your nerves? I'm trying to work on my maps.
Okay, old timer. Turn it down, Slippy.